Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, stands tall as one of the most respected figures in the entertainment industry, valued not only for his physical competence but also for his outstanding emotional intelligence and electrifying charisma. Behind the spotlight, Johnson's ability to connect with audiences on a profound level exceeds mere performance. A good example of why emotional intelligence, EQ, is important lies in the recent Will Smith-Chris Rock situation at the Oscars, which left us all a little speechless.
I'm out here. Richard. Oh, wow. Wow. Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
Wow, dude.
This is a clear illustration of how unchecked emotions can lead to social explosions. Imagine a similar meltdown happening at your workplace. Emotional intelligence is your secret weapon to prevent these kind moments. One study described EQ as having 5 key parts, which include self-awareness, recognizing your own emotions and how they affect you; self-regulation, managing your emotions in healthy ways; social awareness, picking up on the emotions of others, like noticing a coworker's frown; relationship management, using your emotional intelligence to build strong connections with colleagues; motivation, using your emotions to stay focused and achieve your goals. To be clear, EQ isn't about being emotionless or robotic. It's about being stronger than your feelings. It's the difference between yelling at your colleague in a frustrating meeting and calmly explaining your perspective. By developing your EQ, you can navigate tricky situations at work, build stronger relationships, and avoid any potential Oscar night-worthy meltdowns. So, in this video, we'll uncover 5 powerful habits The Rock uses to stay grounded, resilient, and in control, even when the world is trying to rock him. Think about the most enchanting conversations you've ever had, the ones where you felt truly seen and heard. Chances are, the other person wasn't just waiting for their turn to talk, they were actively listening. And as it occurs, Dwayne Johnson is a master of this art. In interview after interview, you'll always find The Rock leaning in with his whole body when his co-star shares a story, his gaze fixed with genuine interest, pausing thoughtfully before responding, giving the other person the space to be fully heard. This might seem simple, but it's a turning point. By truly listening to understand, The Rock builds rapport, fosters trust, and creates connections that resonate. The importance of this habit is that it gives you an upper hand in case the conversation has gone foul. Now think about your typical conversations. How often do you catch yourself formulating your response before the other person has finished speaking? It's a common tendency we all have. But herein lies the difference. While many listen to respond, few listen to truly understand. When we're solely focused on crafting our next statement, we miss out on the subtle nuances of the other person's words. This lack of genuine connection can lead to misunderstandings, frustration, and even conflict. There are moments that push your buttons, colleagues who rub you the wrong way, or maybe even an online troll throwing shade. The key? Not reacting emotionally. Remember that interview where that reporter kept asking intrusive questions about his personal life?
Screen Junkies, my name's Nick Mundy.
Don't this up.
I know, I'm going to, man. First, I gotta say, I'm just a huge fan. I've been a fan of yours for 15 years, that's why they sent me. This is not the first time we met. I actually met you at the Houston Summit. Well, the Hooters across from the Houston Summit, they wouldn't let me.
house show.
They wouldn't let a 15-year-old pay for your bill. So,
right.
and you didn't want to too. I don't know what Mr. Johnson had, but I tried to pay for the bill, and I had it all in like, he was like, no, I'll take care of it, like a gentleman. You're a class act, so.
Wow, I wonder how you would be if I had let you pay for my meal. We got to talk about pain and gain.
Oh, no,
We're
I know,
on the
no.
clock.
No, I know.
Appreciate that story.
I want to hear about Hooters.
Okay, I saw the movie, and holy shit, it's amazing. What's it like being the best movie in like the last 10 years, maybe ever? I mean, it's just
exciting.
It was.
The Rock could have easily been clouded, but instead he took a moment, offered a polite but firm deflection, and steered the conversation to something else. See that? He was in control of his emotions, not the other way around. And this doesn't just happen once. Dwayne Johnson has a reputation for staying calm under pressure, even in the most heated wrestling promos. Imagine facing a trash-talking opponent trying to get a rise out of you. He uses humor, wit, and well-placed comebacks to shut them down, all while remaining composed and confident. The beauty of emotional control is that it commands respect from others, showing them you're the master of your emotions, not vice versa. It creates a calm and collected atmosphere, which is a win-win for everyone involved. You know, one of the most magnetic and emotionally intelligent traits The Rock exudes is his ability to make everyone feel accepted and free to be their authentic selves. Think about his on-screen chemistry with Kevin Hart. They're complete opposites. The Rock, all muscles and charisma, and Kevin Hart, a comedic powerhouse with a fearless energy. On paper, it shouldn't work. But guess what? It's pure gold.
Complete Kevin's Twitter bio. My name is Kevin Hart, and I
am a piece of shit.
How you doing? I'm Kevin Hart, aka K Hart, aka the real deal, aka that guy.
Dwayne Johnson here, aka The Rock, aka La Roca, aka that guy.
Why? Because The Rock doesn't try to dim Kevin Hart's light. He celebrates it. He throws him playful jabs, sure, but it's all in good fun. He understands that Kevin Hart's comedic genius comes from his unique personality, and he doesn't try to mold him into something different. This is the power of emotional intelligence in action. It's not about surrounding yourself with yes men or people who mirror you. It's about appreciating the strengths and quirks of others and creating an environment where everyone feels comfortable. Listen to what he said regarding the same.
Talk about what it means to be positive to everybody.
Well, I heard this quote when I was 15 and back in the lean days, and the quote was, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice.
Wow.
Just like it happened yesterday, I thought, if I'm ever important one day, I'm gonna be nice to people. If I'm ever important, because I always just wanted to apply that. I just love hearing that. And honestly, brother, being nice, I always say this to people.
By practicing this type of emotional intelligence, you create a space where everyone feels empowered to be their authentic selves. And trust me, that's a recipe for success, both personally and professionally. Actually, it shows you're more self-aware. Which brings us to the next point. The Rock isn't just charming and charismatic, he knows he's charming and charismatic.
What's your name?
My name is Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock, La Roca, Uncle Handsome, sexiest man alive. I have a lot of names. Asshole sometimes.
What are you obsessed with right now?
That's a good question. Right now, I am obsessed with building things with my own two hands. I'm obsessed with building brands and businesses.
He understands his strengths and weaknesses, we all have them, and he uses that knowledge to his advantage. See how he talks about himself? He recognizes the long hours of training and dedication it took to get where he is. That's self-awareness in action. He doesn't shy away from the effort, but he also acknowledges his natural charisma. Another form of his self-awareness is when he was asked about his ex-wife and marriage. See how he responds.
You have a remarkably good relationship with your ex-wife, which is unusual in show business. How have you managed that? How have you managed to stay such good friends? You still work together then?
We do. She's my manager. She has a management company. She's done extraordinarily well just on her own professionally. When we realized that we weren't meeting the expectation of marriage and that things were falling apart,
that was an interesting phrase. I read that a lot at the time.
Yeah.
What was your expectation of marriage?
My expectation of marriage, you know, I don't quite know what my expectation of marriage was back then. I'd made a lot of mistakes, and I didn't have the ability or the wherewithal, I think, or the capacity to stop for a moment and say, God, I'm really screwing up. Let me just stop for a moment and let's talk about this. So I can't tell you what it was then. I can tell you today that I value a relationship. When I love you, I can really love you, whether it's my ex-wife, my girlfriend, or my little girl, or my friends, my guys, my buddies, whatever it is. I value that relationship.
He admits he did not know what he expected out of marriage and accepted that he made a lot of mistakes, which is quite rare with many of us. one of the superpowers that makes The Rock a true master of emotional intelligence, his ability to notice and manage his emotional triggers. We've all got those tripwires, specific situations, people, or topics that set off an intense emotional flare before we can rein it in. For some, it's confrontation that fires up uncontrollable rage. For others, it's criticism that unleashes brutal insecurity. Look at this interview he had with Vanity Fair.
When in your life did you feel most abandoned?
That's a tough one to answer. That's a real tough one to answer about abandonment. I think that's between me and a few of the other loved ones.
He's hyper-aware of what potentially sets him off, and he's got a whole arsenal of centering tactics to skillfully work with those triggers. He simply pauses, breathes, and sidesteps that landmine with poise and boundaries. And by avoiding emotional hijacks, The Rock can stay present, read atmospheric subtleties, and engage with clarity and care, deepening connections rather than damaging them. Beyond the 5 core principles, other habits we could learn from The Rock is his positivity, living in the present and taking breaks when the pressure is too much. With that, you've unlocked the emotional intelligence vault from The Rock. Remember, mastering your emotions takes practice. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more tips on unlocking your potential. Thanks for watching.